John, thank you so much. Have you any meeting public work? Carol, to the motion regarding the minutes to this meeting. So I'm ready to say that. All in favor? Opposed? Carry, thank you. All right. Let's start with solid waste and recycling, if that's without objection. Kevin, what do we have here?
The first item we have on the agenda, actually, the two items we have on the agenda is for the new homeowner proposal for all the town. The first one is for the town of Hay. There was a lower bidder on that one, for the town, and then the second one is for the remainder of the town, or vice versa. This is for the hauling disposal for another year. As we have discussed, we're looking at the county possibly doing hauling eventually for the towns that would reduce the cost. But with Thomas being gone, losing him, it's taking a little longer for us to kind of get that plan in place. Last week, we talked about an RFP to go out to a consulting firm to discuss with them and put the parameters together of having that operation plan. We are working on it, but it's with balloons up there, it's some high priority at this point. But I'm hoping by next month we have the RFP out. I can come back to the city who we're going to award the RFP to move forward to develop an operation plan of how you're doing the hauling, as well as some other items. With that being said, we need to extend for the towns. We did it early. Your contract's don't expire until the end of the year, but we did it now so that you can get prepared for your budget to know what the cost of hauling and the tipping fees will be for 2024.
We're still looking forward to some recommendations.
So it's not an extension. It was a bid that was done, July 23, and I apologize. I thought I had that. The deputy was.
Oh, much.
Oh, the new ones do have it. Well, the new agendas. That's the trouble. Yeah, it's the new agenda, so it does have the tab sheet on it.
Need copies, right?
There are copies in, no, each one of them should have on the new agenda, that's how we should, the tab sheet should be on the back of the agenda.
Maybe one, but it's, you know, it looks like that.
Yeah, they all have it in that packet that I gave you. I just don't have it in mine.
You need one.
So we're going to award the contract to the town with waste management, all except for the town of Hay, and then we award to the town of Hay, for year 2024. That's right.
Yeah.
Let's get it on the floor for budget purposes. Carol sent a motion award for 1 year solid waste disposal waste management. Second. Okay. Now,
Just want to add that Julie Butler is here from the person from the department, and Julie always helps with this every year. Julie, do you have anything to add, or?
Only because I would like to get the government extension for 2025, authorize that.
motion have what was the language of that?
Julie, who's the extension with? To extend for one additional year, but that would be, yeah. Correct.
You could also. The same time.
Yeah, so this would extend it. This would award the contract for 2024. or with the possibility of extending to 2025.
Okay, let's go back to, the motion by Mr. Bruno, I think, that's satisfactory. And, second, Mr. Thomas, Thomas on second. Okay, that's, the resolution. Modified. Any further discussion, Mr. Thomas?
Yeah,
If it's not the same price.
we don't extend.
Mr. Merlino, do I see your hand?
Yeah.
So the question is how we can, like, the whole, that's based on an index that as of right now, these are the prices. That could go up or down depending on the quality. You might get more back for occupancy or less if it varies. But that pricing that's in there is what it currently is. Right now, the price that the vendors are getting for, say, magazine, $15, then you have to deduct their processing fee. So that's what the charge is for $105.
It's all big numbers. The multiplication over the course of 12 months. And I think that going back to what Mr. Pedro said earlier, getting that RFP together and get it out of the street so that we can put the operating plan together for recyclables is very important.
I will, I'm commenting now.
Yeah.
Like, so I just wanted to go back, and Julie has, what she typically do is for each of the towns, she'll have the spreadsheet showing the cost. We'll send that out shortly, so that.
I have the PDF.
Yeah, so each of the towns will know what those costs be. And again, we did this earlier, your contract closed at the end of the year, done earlier, so we're in budget season. You know, for your salaries, so that's what we have. With that being said, I was just asked about the EA grant. I just received word that the county did not receive the award for the $1.7 million. They it was very competitive process. There was somewhere in the vicinity of 300 projects submitted, and I believe they only awarded 25 or 30 of those. They did say that over the next 6-month period, they will, depending on how the funding falls out, they could do some more awards, but there was no guarantee. So with that being said, as most of you know, that was for our recycling facility center that we were discussing. We're putting in new balers, kind of a lean-to, like 3-sided building, new balers, skid steer, trucks. So that now is all done, but I also will talk with the budget and solid waste that I've had some of that equipment there as well. But we did not receive that $1.7 million.
I think, Mr. Trump.
And we give them a phone call to see, when we submitted next time, because I got it, or how we can make a deal.
There is a debriefing. I just, as I told you, just beginning of this week that we received that. There is a debriefing number, email in there if you'd like to chat with somebody about it. I haven't yet because the move hasn't had time, but I'm certainly going to reach out and ask them if we're not within this next 6 months, how we can strengthen what we had in our submission to maybe, to get us a better chance of getting it next time. Yep.
As you recall, we, went to EPA, we were not successful. Using any ARPA funds, ARPA back up. Yeah. that, going back to, Kevin's earlier comment, which is in order to keep this important message forward, I think that we put an operating plan together. Moved up. That we have something in front of us to react to, talk about. Otherwise, time. Right, if we get to the point where we didn't need to extend. That would be a great thing. Well, in the event that things don't work out, I think that, that great partners in this zero waste world. Well, and we, is important financially, so get done. Unfortunately, it's very difficult, but it doesn't get done. Okay, we have a motion, right? Correct. Without any further discussion, we'll vote out. Thank you. The awarding and the extension. All those in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. And on the privilege of the floor, Ms. Nyla, do you have anything you'd like to say to the committee at this time? And so please go to the microphone. Fortune for here.
But thank you. One year ago, I mentioned that we really need to utilize data. In 2021, Diane Diane and I visited many of the transfer stations just then. And we found good things and bad things. And we wrote a report which we gave to in April of 2022. It was a project, a volunteer project of the zero waste. We still stand by what we wrote in that little summer of our transfer station. It was from the citizens and residents point of view. I remember in the 1970s, when we moved to Albany, we brought our trash to the landfill and we dumped it into the burn pit. Well, it was burning and moving kind of really know doing it. In the 1990s, the trash was brought to the bigger burn in Hudson Falls. And at the same time, Warren County was doing recycling programs at transfer stations. Residents became accustomed to sorting their solid waste stream. But while we were sorting and burning, the waste stream just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And now it's hard to control. We're drowning in waste. Recently, the Public Works shared its plan for composting of food waste. And the Zero Waste Committee and I want to give kudos to all of you who have really brought that forward. That's so important. It's so major. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to all of you. And to however, really, failure allocating our in the past year, we went along waiting for this. It might have been a type. Or the figure. Now, we know that application is not successful. So we must not. You will remember in 2020, the local solid waste management plan was written by R.S. Finch. They gave us recommendations. The first recommendation they gave us was to collect better data. They actually wrote that we should establish, and I'm going to quote here, a centralized is fine there, actually, but a reporting protocol requiring each municipality to provide Warren County Department of Public Works designating with the biannual solid waste and recycling data. The implementation plan was 2021. In 2022, I tried to obtain that data, but it did not exist in one central location. Every town still keeping receipts. They have to be put into a spreadsheet and shared with the DPW centralized way. The second recommendation from R.S. Lynch was to establish centralized reporting protocol of the financial data. Remember, the DEC does not collect that detailed information, does not collect financial data. Some of the town supervisors, I believe Warrensburg, Town Bolton, now collect this information and they put it in a spreadsheet. This has to be collected. We have a good concept. No idea. Because every week, very few words. Basically, it's essentially some of the data. We can't really show that. Write our next grant. We need to have the data. And I read it. Yay. The data was, it could have been a lot stronger. It should have been. We should have been collecting it for the last one. It's not another. Maybe I'm seeing to require already. If they need it. And I think we also if to make it great. So thank you for being Look at that. Everything. You know, these things. Meanwhile, he's where there is state legislation. Plastic. Where we use plastic fertilizer. Please keep your, our elected representatives.
Thank you for your comments today and well placed, I know. And, Kevin, want a brief comment on the collection data?
So as I told Mary Beth, that is for the permitting system with all the private haulers now, we are for it. We have very good data. They are providing us that information quarterly, and all of the companies that we wish to submit to, they've all provided us the information that from the seller to waste management to EV waste removal, MM, whoever else it may be, they're all providing that material to us. Most of the towns are providing us data, not all necessarily in spreadsheet format, as Mary Beth says, but some with, here's what we have for invoices, what was taken for cardboard or plastic. As Ron and I have talked, and I think the town of Bolton has a very good spreadsheet. I guess what I had tasked Thomas was doing before he left, we didn't necessarily get there, was that he would create a spreadsheet similar to what the town of Bolton have that we would just give to the town. So it would be as simple enough as filling in the blank when you receive your invoices and such, and you know what your tonnages are. I can tell you with the bid that we just put out, there were a couple towns, and again, I'm not going to call out any town, there were a couple towns that just had zero information on one or two things, whether it was plastic or cardboard. Maybe because they don't have it yet, maybe it's not readily available to them. Maybe they haven't submitted to DC yet. But we want to get it to kind of, I say I use Town of Bolton as an example, to that type of spreadsheet where I have all this information coming directly to us. And then we, as Mary Beth said, we would be the central location.
Most of it has to be, most of it, maybe dollars, most of it has to be reported to DC and there may be some additional information in there, but it's not an owner's tax. So, but I would agree with my lot that our consultants are going to need this information. That would make it not very fine to get without it. So, but I thank you for moving forward with the RFP on the consultant. I think we waited long enough. Not a matter that's going to go. It's going to be appreciated. Just go down. Very important. Matter going forward. All right. Without objection, what do we want to take up next?
I know it says budget presentation on there, but I think we can probably go since we're all these things together. So if you'd like to move right into Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec, okay.
So the first item we have on there, I'll let, the first item we have on there is Line Adirondack. They are the ones that we have a contract with, allowing us use of their property to get to our fire tower. The past, I believe it was $2,500. They just increased the cost to us by $120.
Yes.
All right, now let's bring, this is an action item, let's, to renew this contract, additional, with an increase of $125, bring this forward for discussion. And one brings Bruno, and a second to bring forward. 3-2, thank you. Discussion. Ready for the question then? All those in favor of the contract, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you. Second item.
I'll turn it over.
Okay, yeah, well, there's a request for transfer funds. And consideration, we've had a change in staff, different, needs for those personnel. But, funds, transfer funds, and.
Bring this forward for consideration. Motion brings forward. Lena, thank you. Bruno on the second, already discussion. And this would have to come from the county's contingent fund, right? You know?
So in the beginning of the year, during the budget process, we always get some charges off and kind of what the health insurance hospitalization would be going into the next budget. We don't make up one as well. I think it's an estimate, but we had indeed said we had a change in staff, somebody who might not have had our insurance and now has switched to somebody who has our family insurance. So to go on, that's what kind of increased the cost. So this is for, I believe, is it for one person?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I do know we have more couple people and now your family.
Right, yeah, we had a more single, family, single insurance as opposed to family insurance, and now we have more family insurance. So, and again, no fault of the treasurer, they take an estimate, like a year with the insurance amount that they.
Have to go to finance, they can ultimately determine source of funding finance. Then are we ready for the question? All those in favor of the transfer, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Thank you. Kevin.
We'll go to the information for discussion review, and I'll get to the first one.
Sure. In your packet was our poster, our annual poster for the 23rd at Town Farm, happening this Saturday, October 28th. Last year, as you may recall, we had a tremendous program. We grabbed 4 or 5 people we had 800 last year. And for that reason, it was manageable, but it was at the high end of manageable. We bumped the hours of that a little earlier in the day to accommodate folks as well. And we work with the town of Bolton to actually, if needed, have contingency plans with parking if there's. Anyway, I just want to bring that event to your attention.
Yeah, I think allow me, I think we're very supportive of the idea of using veterans of shuttle of people. One of the issues last year was the parking along 9 end. I don't know where you're planning on putting out phones this year. The demarcate. I think that plan our station plan on being shuttle to promote that to people that they, however, it needs to be promoted. Great event and it's remarkable. The need to stay.
Yeah, I just want to add on, it was a lot of vehicles along the Diane last year. Like he and I have talked about possibly doing something on the website and to Don to say, we can shuttle people, but it's, it's a family event and it's kids. If they're young kids, I don't want to get into shuttling with having car seats and things like that. So that's the difficulty that we have with this, but he's going to advertise, hey, come early, bring your kids in, and we have to do that. But I mean, we did a very good job of laying out parking in our parking lot last year. It was just a lot of people in a very short period of time. Maybe extending the hours a little bit earlier, it would be spread out a little bit more, and we can have a lot of in and out. So
actually. So the people come, I mean, they're over from, all the time. And then we park, you know, going from. Yep.
And it's all
right like that. The next item we have under approved discussion and review, of course, is the RFP for the railroad. I know we discussed this last month. We're working on it. As I look back at a previous meeting, we talked about doing this as a best value method as opposed to just putting an RFP based on revenue that was going into the county. So, the RFP has to be written a little bit different way when we're doing the best value method to make sure we're wording it and there's no ambiguity or anything with the RFP. So we're working through that. I expect it will be out before to the committee, before next committee, and hopefully after the committee review, it will be out to the public as well for people to start putting it forward. That we have on there is a bike station at Country Club Road. So we were approached by the Adirondack Cycling Advocates regarding a bike station that they were awarded through a grant. And they were looking for us to replace it within our facility. I'm going to pass the pictures around right now. Dino's passing them around as well. So basically what this is if somebody gets a flat tire, needs to change a spoke, needs to do some type of work, is if you look at the pictures, the two kind of red balls at the top is where they would hang their bike from, and then they could do work on their bike. It has a wrench, a pair of pliers. It has a air pump. So basically, if they need to do any work on their bike along the bike path, they can stop there. And this is the second.
Yes, there's one. Yeah.
There's another. So
And
we thank the Adirondack Cycling Advocates for their donation to us. We told them that we would maintain it throughout. Dino and I have talked about taking this out every winter, not leaving it there, bringing it in. Because the tools do sit out in the weather, they will have a tendency to turn rusty or whatever else. So we'll bring it in the winter. We'll do our own maintenance on these, and then we'll put them back out in the spring. This Adirondack Cycling Advocates, Barbara Dowdry, is the lead for this organization. She has been great. Her and I have been trying to meet every couple of weeks, but I've been about once a month now to discuss kind of some of the needs that the Adirondack Cycling Advocates have. And currently, with Keith Gaddy, Dean's on the committee. There's a committee right now looking at doing improvement overall to not just our bike path, but to Peter Canal as well. And they'll come out with that report with a recommendation to the county as well as to probably the city, the Peter Canal area as well as the town. So we're waiting for that report to be done, and there could be a lot of recommendations that come out of that. One of the things that's been a hot topic is bollards. Do we truly need the bollards on the bike path? There's a lot of information saying the bollards are I don't want to say dangerous, but they can cause accidents. But on the same token, with a lot of the things that we've seen lately, and Dee and I talked about this, where cars have run through pedestrians and such, the last thing we would want is cars being on the bike path. So I can't say you would necessarily need the bollard everywhere along the bike path, but there's certain situations, especially probably in the city, where that may be considered that we still leave them. But if we leave them, they're standard, and we're waiting for the recommendations, but we'll look to meet those standards of how those bollards. Very good, very good. Mr. Bruner.
Regarding those stations, great. I hate to bring this up, but do you have any problems with vandalism or how
We don't.
Yeah.
We haven't ever yet. Yeah, and that's why we put this in the area, because this is a very visible area, Country Club Road. I think the other one is a fairly visible area as well. We took that into account. That's why when we look for a location, we thought this would be an ideal location. This it can be seen by everybody from the road at the end of the bike path. So, but again, in the winter months, they will be removed from inside, maintained, and then put back on. Thank you.
Yeah, very briefly, I put it on the agenda and I apologize because of the wind and the weather. The air stocking has been pushed. We are looking into, and we will reach out to Kevin. The county, like we usually do, but Indian Lake is probably gonna get pushed into next week for us, helping them with the air stocking. And then the county, our stocking itself probably commence maybe mid to late October. Also, I just wanted to say briefly, Jeff reminded me, we will have a couple schools that are heading in the classroom. They're not allowed to. So we will have that program going as well. On to number 6, I realized, real brief, I just want to make a,
Did we skip over number 4?
We did. But
Oh, I apologize.
We can jump back to that.
We'll jump back.
For now. All right, well, I'll get the wind out of me. So we are very fortunate to open our 9-hole free Warren County disc golf course last Friday. Great panel attendance there. It has been posted on our county website. And it is also on UDisc Golf. And it's a great, nice, small little 9-hole course. It's going to be very complementary to the larger courses that exist at other golf courses in that. But just a nice component. I'd like to thank Mr. Garrity, who actually was able, not one of the people who had to travel out to Central New York, where I know a lot of you were. But we had a great two-hole round. The rest of us have a challenge. I asked her back, and I just learned that I need a par 9 in the field. But it's a great course. It's a fun course. It was put together from funding from the county itself. Some funding came from Stewart's, but it's a nice, small, little recreational activity in town of Warrenburg, the county as well, and probably we'll get some more utilization down there.
Very good.
Appreciate it.
I just wanted to add on that the app that you were referring to, GPS, is apparently all disc golfers use this app, and they can track their scores. But for us, we can track, see how many people come to our site, how often they use it, the scores, and even I think there's on part of the app, there's an area where they can make comments about the course. But since it's open, I think Dean can say there's a couple individuals already who come on a daily.
There were 4 groups that used it.
Okay.
Every Sunday.
But there's a couple of guys who've been coming almost every day to play the course. And they'll play it 100%.
And then, yes,
So we have done our bike paving for this year. In the area of Cooper's Cave restaurant. Dino's gonna send out the picture of the run right now, but they're already around. So this is an area in the bike path where we had a lot of tree growth here since the bike path was put in. We had some root damage. I think the third picture shows kind of some of the root damage and cracks in the pavement area. So you'll see that we dug the entire pavement out, removed the root system there, and repaved it back in. So that was our paving for this year, and I think next year, as far as our
we would probably like to. Leonard parking lot is probably going to be an issue.
Yep.
Because that is the same issue with.
And this is one of the items that we put in the budget every year, continue to do that preventive maintenance and move forward on the bike path.
Leonard. At the very southernmost part of the one.
And that's all, if you'd like, because we have budget presentation by state. Yep. We can go into DPW right now. I have no action done in mind for the first time in a long time on DPW. The only thing I have is an update on projects. So for ongoing road and bridge projects within the county, there is the CHIP funding, the county funding. The last project we were getting for this year was Coolidge Hill. All top course pavement has been completed. And over the next several weeks, they will finish stretching guide rail on the side. In fact, I think stretching guide rail is being done as we speak. And they'll have one of the the federal aid projects, we have Clayton Road. If any of you've been out there at night, they've been doing the work. Pavement rehabilitation work is underway. I believe they're beyond paved road now. Maybe getting closer to Ridge. They did have some open pavement going into Blue Fest. We put a request in them to make sure that all pavement was in place. And no services were left during the fest, that everything was straightened back up. They have a couple culvert linings left to do out there, but they believe probably by the end of October, they will be completely wrapped up on that project as well. Thompsonville Road, which is up in Town of Chester, is complete, and I believe now we've also completed our maintenance paving at the intersection with 9. Well, John's Brew Bridge replacements, Glen Creek Road and Dixon Road, Glen Creek Road Bridge superstructure was placed this week. Anticipated opening date is the middle of October. We got pushed back a couple weeks because of the weather, the spring work. And then I was talking with Supervisor Grouchy about this, but on Tuesday night, I think the 27th Tuesday, we will be having the public informational meeting on the Adirondack and Beaver on bridge replacements. And you're all welcome to come up there if you like.
Okay, that's all.
Question, I know this doesn't fall under you, do you have any information updates, whatever, on state court, going to Warren Street?
I do. I'd be glad to share with everybody. So I believe it was sometime last week, a press release came out that said that DOT had expedited their design. Now they will start construction. Although to all of us in the beginning, this is supposed to be over with by August. We had gone out and done some intersection improvements with Quarry Road, Lower Warren and Boulevard. We actually incorporated a 4-way stop because the traffic was significant. And the reason being is locals know the shortcuts. Locals were going that way, but it would be becoming very cumbersome in that intersection. Wasn't an easy intersection to get out of, especially when Boulevard is, I believe, 45 miles per hour in that area. So we initiated a 4-way stop. We put plain up advanced warning signs out, and we did that for the purpose of waiting until the state gets done with their work, and then we don't be intersection back to where it was before. But we just felt that after looking at it, we pulled the actions that could have happened in that area. We wanted to prevent that.
Regarding that intersection, you're headed east toward Hudson Falls, stop and you take a right. There's a pocket over there, half the size of the pocket. Who takes care of that? If you're not careful, I'm sure you turn there.
We will take care of it.
And lastly, what exactly are the state doing? Are they replacing the bridge on?
Yeah, it's not a bridge, it's a culvert. And they had looked sometime this past spring at the culvert and determined that there was significant deterioration of the culvert. That prompted them to close that lower Warren, that area more, maybe a year now. My understanding, and I don't have the firsthand knowledge, I don't work for DOT, but my understanding is that they had ordered a liner, and this is taking almost like a culvert or a corrugated metal pipe liner and putting it in place by the pipe. They ordered it, and we have the wrong size. Now, apparently, they have the right size. So again, I think, and I don't know myself because I haven't been down there. I will be over the next couple days with Balloon Festival, see how things are going, but I believe they are now moving along with the construction.
I noticed in regard to Quaker Road that Louisiana paved from the intersection to Lower One down.
And that was the note area that we were asking them to make sure that by Balloon Fest that was paid in. I didn't want a mill surface turn.
Thank you.
All right. You want to go up?
Yes.
Thank you. Kevin, I just want to reach out the Quaker project, is really, I'm impressed with how that's going and flowing, and how they mill so much, the next night, bingo, is repaid. So that has been really impressive, and thank the company for, the roads clean. And to keep the traffic moving and working great. So I think that's working out great. And another kudos for standing up, because I actually hit that sign, it was like, or the stop sign at the boulevard. And I'm like, well, I'm sure they did this when someone was thinking ahead. So, kudos to going out and recognizing that that needs to be there. And in the long run, it might be a good place just to keep it there and slow down that traffic at the boulevard, but that would be a decision at that time, but, just a heads up and a lot of thanks, so thank you.
All right, then, so I move to the budget. Okay, let's look for that objection to the budget.
All right, so I guess I will start with, DPW solid waste, because that's the big one. So under solid waste, which is 1628, I had an increase in equipment for two 30-yard compactors at 7,900 apiece. Roll-off container truck at 280,000. Skid steer, if we had our recycling center facility for 80,000, and an industrial site baler for 280,000. The local site baler, I also added in there, that's a smaller one, that we could do smaller bales of plastic. So that was a significant increase in the solid waste budget. We were hoping that that was going to be offset by the EPA grant. We learned that it's not. So that's what I have in the budget for the solid waste. Under Parks Rec, and please stop me if you want me to discuss any further. Parks Rec and Railroad, we had minimal increase in equipment, and that's basically pump areas and fish food for the hatchery. Up Yonda has pretty much remained flat. The Up Yonda bed tax has also remained flat. Our snowmobile grant, 712, 712, that's flat, that's our pass through. And then the railroad has remained flat for the most part, except for sometime during this year, we will draw from the reserve. There was currently about 250,000 into the railroad repair of the areas. Under Public Works, the first one is 1490. DPW admin, there's a minor increase, and that's mainly due to salaries and benefits. Okay. The Westbrook parking lot, even with the events we have, is pretty much remains flat. Grove parking lot again is flat. Couple more you're paying the village for the percentage that they get with the wastewater treatment plant, and then some of that coming back to us. D3310, which is our traffic department. There is definitely an increase in time material and guide rail supplies, mainly because costs have gone up. The biggest increase in that one has gone is for striking contracts. For the 190 miles that we typically try to do every year, and the bids came in this year, and what we had normally budgeted for, we didn't have enough money. The contractors that came in and bid on it this year, they increased their prices significantly, and not any of them can get their hands on paint. They're having a very difficult time doing it, and if they do, they're fighting it, and the cost is increasing significantly. So the bids that we had for this year were from a normal of about, I want to say $600, $600 or $700 per mile, jumped up to $1,550 per mile. So the normal 100 miles, about 190 miles, reduced down to about 110. So that's the biggest increase that we have in our traffic department. Again, part of that comes from the cost of the paint as well. Under 5010, which is highway admin, remains flat. 5020 engineering, there's no increase in salaries and benefits. 5110 maintenance of roads, again, majority of it is flat. There's a minimal decrease in road and bridge material, again, due to cost. And then we have had decreases in equipment rentals and decreases in contracts. The decreases in equipment rentals, we're just not using them as, that we get for payment, we're not keeping it as long. 5112 county roads, there was a significant increase. And again, as I've brought every year to committee, and I'll continue to bring to committee, because we do our payment evaluations every year. There's an increase in county roads from 4 million to 5,245,000. Mainly a lot of that is due to cost. The 4 million that we had talked about over the last couple of years was a good estimate, but based on increase in cost of material, that has risen. As you recall, of the 5,345,000 that I'm requesting, approximately almost 3.8 million is CHIPS, York, GWR, and our POP, the POP program, to the state. So the remainder of approximately, I think, $1.3 million that we will be requesting. The rest of it is covered for that state funding. Under 5142, which is county snow removal, reduced, mainly reduced the salt cost because, again, with our grinding, reducing the salt that we're using. We're hoping, the in-house things that we're going to have. Yeah, I think that all had to do with just us reducing with the program that we're doing in reduction of salt and the training that my staff has had. We hope to see that savings in $1,000 for possibly even more. 5148, which is typically services to other governments. This used to be a fairly large budget item because we did a lot of work for the other towns. Since we are no longer doing a lot of paving work, that has been minimized. Salaries are being budgeted for, and if we need something, we'll transfer it in from maintenance as needed. 9950 transfer capital projects. There's definitely a local match increase. County bridges, culvert and federal aid projects from 1.257 million to 2.37 million. And I believe in the package they have 5-year plan. There is a 5-year plan that should be within everybody's budget that will show you that for the projects that we're doing for a local match for the next year. For 5130 machinery, minimal increase in the salary benefit, automotive repair, oil and gas heat. And then one of the things that I added in there, I have budget out there is for us to have GPS on our vehicles. Most of the other counties within our area have GPS on our vehicles. Some people may look at it as Big Brother watching out. It's not the reason. The reason is for the safety of our staff, the safety of our drivers. Most departments are using GPS to, right now, I'll tell you, this happens on a daily basis, and we will have 5 calls into our office, and I'm sure the town experiences the same thing, that says your truck is doing 50 miles per hour down our road, it's only 30 mile per hour road. Most of the municipalities today who have the GPS, Fairfield, Washington, don't have it. And look at a moment's notice in real time and say, number one, none of my trucks are there. But if any of our guys have accidents or issues, we can see where they are and safety reasons, we will be able to track. With that being said, I know there will be a question in the contract this year with the union as to what information from us having GPS on the boat. I'm getting a lot of that language, which I hope to bring to the committee and give to the county administrator and chairman of the board as to what others are putting in their contracts regarding that. Again, I'm not necessarily using it for driving. I'm using it for the safety of the staff that I have in DPW. So I did add $15,000 in other equipment. and I asked if that was included. The last item I had on there, which is something a little bit that increased or a little bit more significant, is 5140 is the motor fuel farms. There's been a slight increase in contract. Dow Rimple is our contractor or vendor on that. They took over from Northeast Petroleum and their costs have increased. Of course, they passed that cost on to us. So that's how that was increased. If there's any other questions on any of the budget, I'd be happy to answer them. Even if you don't have questions here, feel free to please give me a call.
We're beginning to see, I just wonder on some of these contracts. We need to be focused on the performance criteria, because a lot of these private companies are having a difficult time, finding drivers and meeting their contract requirements. That we certainly wish them well. On the other hand, when you need to have something picked up or you need to have some delivery, you need it. So I think that going forward, I think we'll be focused on that. But, like I say, some companies are having very difficult time. We are. And maybe with that segue, maybe you could talk to us briefly. Where do you think we are going into the winter?
Control. First one was that I just submitted for our payroll that we do. The payroll, I typically sign off on payroll before it goes into the treasurer's office. And my staff count for Warren County total is 112 people, and I just submitted the last payroll for 90. So we're in trouble going into the winter. I'm not necessarily asking other towns to pick up roads, although there are a few towns who don't do our roads. Not sure that they're able to take them on or not. And then Johnsburg does not have a contract with us to do plowing on any of our roads, and neither does that discussion can be had with them to assist us, whether they take one road and we would pay them just as every other town we paid. Of course, that would change a little bit in the budget, or give a couple of roads to do it. But I'm getting nervous going into this winter. I actually just joked around with my staff that I'm going to go take the theory portion of the CDL test and start driving the truck for over most, because I have to be able to do it. And I think probably Keith was here from the village. I think it's not just myself. I think everybody. The fact that we pay a lower salary than most of the town is hurting me even more. So again, that discussion will continue. I pay more than what the town does. So it's very difficult to be towns by either beginning or even, experienced drivers to stay when they know they can go somewhere else. And as much as they love me and love working for the county, at the bottom line is I know most of your experience. Money is the bottom line point for them. Everybody wants to make more money.
How much will overtime be, if any, be able to compensate? I mean, a lot of times it's probably done overtime anyway. So if it's down people, I don't know that additional overtime will help.
Well, that's my other concern, and I spoke about this with a couple of my phone the other day. Is when we're down this many people, I try to limit my drivers to no more than 16 hours. And in reality, that's 12 hours in a truck max, and then 4 hours of a kind of a break time in between. I can't do any more than that, and I'm not risking that. I don't think that the state right now does. They do shift work, and there's a 12-hour shift work. The guys aren't always in the truck for 12 hours, as well as my guys aren't always in the truck for a straight 12 hours. They could be in a truck for 6, 7, 8 hours on some of the runs, and then they come back and take a break. Only if it continues to snow, turn around and go back out again. So overtime's not, that's regardless of how much overtime I could pay, I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to risk the safety of my drivers or
But that's a big percentage of the 9,000. I don't know if that's viable option anyway. People are out, you're out max anyway. So, think that, maybe we could put it as an action item on the agenda without objection from the committee. I think that, we need to talk about this going forward. I have a very bad feeling about this going forward. I think the only road in Bolton that you don't do is County Road 11, but that's such a specialized road. It's such a difficult road in the first place. That's sure what our capacity is to deal with that. And I mean, even if we were to deal with that, I have no idea what the price is. Big road. But
well, and like you already talked to them, I mean, as far as we have a contract price already, it's in the budget, for next year. I believe the towns are getting somewhere in the city about 9,000 per mile. It would take to maintain our road. That wouldn't change for County Road 11. Regardless of how many lanes are on it or anything else, it's still the 9,000 mile unless the committee wanted to change to that. And I see Supervisor Smith walk in. So I'm not sure if the town of Johnsburg wants to take on it. The county either. I don't know if they have the staff to be able to do it.
I think that, you know, I've been back and forth to Colorado a few times this year for family matters. Now, I'm amazed on the county roads. You see a sign that basically says there will be, no plowing between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. For any driving, you're doing it at your own risk, which really just totally amazes me. How can they just do that? But they do that. I mean, maybe this something, I know it's out there, and that would be that we actually do that, but, limiting the plow time, I don't know, but, it is concerning.
Speak to that, I've seen that in other locations there as well. But then it comes down to a liability issue. If somebody does go out and run on that road, regardless of what happens, if somebody gets killed, then it's on the county. So regardless if you put a sign up that says you can't ride on this road, there's no help, so they take your own risk. Someone gets hurt, injured, will fall back to the county. I currently have got a request the other day from, there was a motorcycle accident up on New York State State. I do not have a county road even in a mile to 2 miles vicinity to that, and we're being named, the county is being named too. Now, thinking that may go away, but it's within, we don't have, within 2 miles of that, I don't have a road. Yeah, we were being named as part of it.
well, let's I don't need to tell everyone when and here we are, doing great things in terms of performance, but grinding and getting rigs set up with the light edge plow at all. How the light edge plows working out?
They work out great as long as we have a smooth road. Any imperfections in the road, especially if there's patches that don't have a level surface, that live edge plow will take those patches right out, just because of the individual sections on the plow.
We both do more springs on.
You do. Yep. That's what we did, work out well.
So here we're doing some great things in that regard. We can't really work it out with that's the big problem. Everybody's competing for the video. Not just,
No, it's not just,
it's everybody, advanced transit, everybody competing for the same number. So, Any, budgetary comments for Kevin and, questions? There being, I see pretty quick, right? No, you can meet with Kevin afterwards for as long as you need them. The budget officer, yes, right?
Well, sales that you requested, that's part of our, program to be able to scale up plastic at a central facility. And the grant, that's still the grant, this would have been something, I don't know if we did get the grant. We get the grant.
That was, opportunity for sure. Hopefully not satisfactory. All right then, and being, anyone from the audience wish to address the board on their privilege of floor? Not, Carol, can a motion to adjourn? No? On the, second, all those in favor of adjourning?